Let's see here. Okay, this is a Mist 15. And I was trying to get at the beginning if they were going to use the war skip, and nobody decided to ask me. So, you know how the pug runs go? Nobody knows really what exactly is going to happen. Starting off went kind of okay. I mean, he double pulled these little jumpers, but it's not fortifying, so they usually don't do crazy amount of damage. And a lot of people I don't understand, like, for example, the lock. When he gets low, like, he could be 10%, 20%, he'll never pop his defenses. Which you can see next to the purple icon, there's the far left, the little red circle is a damage reduction. You see the little horny guy right there in the little corner next to the soulstone icon. That's a 30% damage reduction, but you'll see throughout the run, he won't ever pop any. I'm not sure if it's even on his bars. Yeah, right here we're doing the war skip. Luckily none of the pugs pulled extra. And then I was like, oh, you know, maybe they just want to skip this trash and we'll get the damage buff. And I asked them. I'm pretty sure the raid lead doesn't even know about it. I mean, who wants a 10% stat buff, right? Going on, then we started pulling these two dusk. Let's read the name. Blue breakers.
Watch your feet.
Blow breakers. How do you say the names?
Watch your
feet. That's like
feet.
the background noise. That's kid watching his cartoons. You seen the
Watch your feet.
AoE coming from these guys, so I started doing some AoE healing, looking at if anybody was going to pop any kind of defensive. Oh, Locke actually did pop his unending resolve, so, I mean, at the very end, but better than nothing, right? Going along,
Watch your feet.
these guys are just about to die, and we're about to pull the boss. As you can tell, that they still haven't went back for the 10% damage stat buff, mean stat, I believe.
Obey me. Obey me.
Another thing is, see the big guy? What's his name? Angduka Malrock? I don't know. I think that's how you say his name. No, that's the dormant envoy. But yeah, he points a spray at the tank, which tanks usually just point that way at the wall, but unless you're kind of new, you don't really understand that, and you just keep pointing it at the group or somebody else because you're not like paying attention.
Obey me.
Fear incoming.
And right after that second spray that he does on the ground, and he does a fear, shortly after will be hopefully the DPS check to where you can put him in dormant and you focus on ignore, where you take like an increased, or he takes increased damage taken. That's where you pop cooldowns and you start blasting them. Okay, we're blasting them, blasting them.
Break you into splinters!
There's the funnel. I like pointing that one away, so, I mean, Something better than nothing.
Please survive this. I cannot control it.
Oh yeah, the warlock got hit by the front. Yeah, and I was asking him if there's gonna be getting coming back with that step up. I mean, it's pretty useful. Increase damage, health, everything is your main stat, 10%. So, especially when you have a couple thousand, stats, that's a decent sized buff. Makes the dungeon go by faster. Better chances of not failing the dungeon because you'll be able to, get through the dungeon faster.
Choose wisely.
Stone and sigil show the way. One does not belong. One you must follow. Discern the path.
So a lot of times the tank can point that the other direction from where the group's standing, and the DPS and healers don't have to stop DPS and healing. But some tanks like to point those funnels towards the group like every time. Kind of makes people have to move out of the way. It makes just the dungeon longer. Small little things like that causes the dungeon to fail.
Hooray! You're almost there.
The objective here is to kill the tuner. They do a cast which will root everybody to the ground and do a crap load of damage, not counting that if you're rooted and can't get out of it and they do a funnel to you, then it can easily just kill you. So that's the main guy you want to interrupt and mainly focus down. Yeah, I put an X on the tank's head so I can figure out where he's positioned so I can try to stand somewhere else so I don't get hit by those funnels no more. But I realize that a lot of times no matter where I move, he'll just reposition to aim at me. Probably not on purpose though, but who knows. And here's another tender. He does the same thing. Focus him down, interrupt him. The other guys are pretty easy, like much less of a concern.
You did it! Good guess.
Watch your step. Watch your step. Watch your step. Watch your step. Watch your step.
This guy jumps around. Get out of the squirrel. Excuse me.
Watch your step.
And this is where one of the casks got off. As soon as it happens, I realized I might as well tank, knowing that's going to do a bunch of damage. As you can tell, the tank pointing the spray right at me again. I mean, he could just point it the opposite direction, but that's just how it goes in PUGs. They don't really care if they wipe, if they fail the key a lot of times. They're just kind of like robots, kind of brain dead.
No fooling you. No fooling you.
And here comes the true game player people.
Stay away from lines.
Dude even attempt to move out of the way. And now the tank didn't even interrupt. I was
Stay away
thinking
from
about
lines.
realism, but then you got two people down, and here comes the third one. Like, I just realized might as well just do a full reset and hopefully kind of like explain to them like 101 on mechanics on things that like you should
Stay away
dodge.
from
Some
lines.
things that've been in since the day one of the expansion of this dungeon, and people still don't understand. This is Pug Life, right? And it's not just one person. It's, as you can tell, there's a bunch of people that just don't understand. That's kind of running 4 deaths in less than 10 seconds. What can you do? Let's try this again. And I was like, what's going to happen again? And it's, you'll see who still quite doesn't understand the mechanic. He does arrows, get out of the way. He summons a fox that chases you down. If it touches you, it freezes you, which shortly after another mechanic, the arrows happen, which will just kill you. So the point is you're meant to get out of the arrows, and you're meant to root, or fear,
Stay away
or
from
stop
lines.
the fox from running.
Stay away from lines.
The dodge. There's the fox. I try to entangle root it. As you can tell, just a dot doesn't break the root, so you kind of have to like smack it with a little bit harder.
Stay away from
Here
lines.
comes the dodge, and here's the AoE, because when these ads come out, it pulsates AoE on the group, as you can tell. Here comes another fox, and this will be the 4th stack of AoE. Every time
Stay
it
away
stacks
from
up, it takes
lines.
longer to kill the correct ad. It increases damage on the group. If you kill the wrong ad, the wrong clone, it will do a burst of AoE on the group.
Stay away from
Here comes
lines.
another dodge. The ad is on me. So
Run
I
out.
have a target, and then realize boom.
Stay away from lines.
Shift out to get away. And there was the one dude that didn't dodge again because he doesn't understand how to sidestep a line.
Stay away from
Or
lines.
maybe he's just busy watching Netflix, who knows.
Run out.
You would be surprised how many people just
Stay
I
away
think
from
they might
lines.
know the mechanics, but they just don't care. So they're like, oh, you know, it's a healer's problem if I die, or you know, they're just not paying attention. Maybe they're just focusing
Stay
on the
away
action
from
bar the whole
lines.
time. You know, you can think of 1,000 reasons why. And the Warlock's 2K IO, so I mean, like, he's doing about.
Stay away from lines.
He's about doing. He's supposed to be around doing 10, but he jumped to a 15, and it shows.
Stay away from
Fox,
lines.
there's a dodge. I see the Hunter trapped Eddie in, so Hunter's a little bit more of an game. So,
Stay away from lines.
Yes, dodge the line. Another Fox. And yeah, my limb can form to elude him.
Stay away from lines.
Another dodge.
One of us is not like the others.
A little bit of healing, he can get pulsing. This is the second
Stay away from
time
lines.
Arrows and
Run
Fox
out.
comes out, fixated on me, looted him. Started healing people up.
Stay away from lines.
Another dodge.
Just for us.
There's
Run out.
another Fox, man. They really like to fixate on me, I've noticed. Try to vortex them. And just laugh at the vortex. I was over then.
Let's do it again.
I was about to res him. I was like, oh yeah, someone died. And I was looking for it, but then he released. And you see, as he's 18, he's at high IO, but I have feeling that is kind of
It doesn't look right at all.
maybe got carried, maybe still just kind of like fumbling through these dungeons. Like if he died, well, he just kind of just chalked it up to like, you know, God or whatever, RNG because he died, and that's about how a lot of PUGS mindsets are. I find out is that they don't care how they did or look up or do any kind of research to figure out why they died. They just do. They just like, oh, maybe something next time be different.
Run out.
The acid, we got cooldown reduction on mana, we got the spread because of the fucking green circles with pulsate. And this is where I forgot that I didn't click that because I have a feeling there's going to be more deaths and I don't have to run back so far. So I was like, oh, I'm going to grab this pod real quick. Like that, then try to hurry back. You gotta run out because you got the little circles, those little swirls that spawn on people's feet. If you stand in it, it can knock you off. If you're not at the right angle, it can knock you far. If you're in it at all, it can do a decent amount of damage, as you'll see later on. Here, this is kind of a famous 2-pool. Got some shades popping up. There's a shade on me, but I'm not getting too far, so I have to run past. I believe I could have survived one hit from him. They hit for about 36k. As you can tell, the tank's at 47k, and he was able to drop all the stacks. I think he bopped himself, or somehow he dropped all the stacks. But the point is that around 30 stacks, as your heals do almost next to nothing. So, and then a lot of the tanks are like, why isn't he healing me, and this and that. Reality is you just kite. You just kite, and if you kite for like, what, 5-10 seconds, your stacks drop, all's good, go back to fighting. But this is mind-blowing to some people. It was just, I guess, too wrapped up in the moment. And this Wasp, he'll charge people and sting them and put a poison dart on them and slow them down. You just dispel it. This is a knockback, which is I got out of it. You tell pretty soon one of the hunter, I believe, does not get out of it. He just is like, whatever. There's another swirl under my feet. So I think that ad died before we got that cast off. So got shades all around me. So I try to run out a little bit. That's what that icon showing that I got shade on me. Six, 27 stacks. Oh, there goes the hunter. You see how much that little swirl did to the hunter? Probably like 2/3 of his life. 41k that swirl did to that hunter. See, I went to tree form, trying to pump out some heals. Tank thankfully dropped the stacks again at 40 stacks. Try to pump into some DPS. People don't realize that just doing 1 or 2k actually over an entire dungeon actually makes a huge difference in timer. That's like knocks off at least a minute minimum. See, everybody's doing damage, trying to avoid that shade. Help heal people up. And here comes the boss. I'm just praying people actually will interrupt, because you know as well as I do that if you start getting mind controlled and nobody interrupts, then it causes problems.
Watch your step. Line apart. Watch your step.
Souls on people's feet, damage incoming. You got Link.
Line apart.
So
Watch
Link,
your
it's
step.
best that person that is linked to the other two run out, because he can break 2 and 1 compared to making the other two stop the defense or healing.
Watch your step.
Break it, but I chalked it up. It's pug run, and a lot of people don't
Interrupt.
understand that, or they don't care, whatever it is. So a lot of times you kind of have to just take the initiative. This way I see the tank's taking a little more damage, so I put buckskin on them. Here comes the little worms. A lot of times they fixate on somebody for a certain amount of time. As you can tell, they're kind of fixated on the warlock, and you're meant to kite, because if they bite you enough times, then the bleed stack just keeps stacking up and up. The warrior feared him off of him, thank goodness, because this warlock doesn't do anything but tunneling. I mean, he could easily freaking implode all his imps into the ball of larvae and do a massive amount of damage to him,
Watch
but
your feet.
it's a pug run and they don't care. This hunter's on the far side of the room while I'm trying to trank,
Watch
and
your step.
he just doesn't
Watch
do
your
anything.
feet.
He's alright for now. I mean, he's about 90% health.
Watch your feet.
Link on me,
Line apart.
as you can tell, and this is where I see
Target you.
one pushing a break 2 links. This way I root that guy, trying to buy a little bit more time, less damage on me. I ran by the tank so I could swirl him, and he can help DPS him down. But as you can tell, he really just doesn't care. He just kind of shrugs at him and keeps doing whatever he's done. So now I run by him again. Hopefully he'll do some DPS to him, and he just kind of like looks at him.
Watch your step. Line apart.
Link again.
Target you.
Trying to heal some more. Hunter's out of range. Realize that larvae on me. Boss is dead. Got 4 minutes left.